This is my 1998 Ford AU Falcon XR6 with variable cam timing. It's a Tickford model, so it's actually basically it's the early version of Ford performance vehicles. So it's a 98 model. It's got PPG Galaxy Blue mica paint on it, and it is in far from perfect condition. It has got some blemishes in different places. This front guard here needs to have some new paint on it because there's over the years of wiping and cleaning, it's lost a bit of its paint in a few different places, and it has been used as a bit of a guinea pig for testing a lot of products over the last 10 years. I've just had the front bar and the rear bar freshly painted, and I'm just in the process of lightly polishing and jeweling the paint on the roof and on the whole car basically. Now I've just used jeweling polish, the Xpert jeweling polish by machine and by hand on this rear quarter panel, on the top half of the quarter panel, and for 14-year-old paint you have to admit it's got a pretty nice gloss to it. Now in the early days of owning this car, I was using Menzerner polishing compounds, which was solvent based, and they're full of heavy oils. A very old school technology formula compared to what we have today with Xpert. And over the years what's basically happened is the solvents in a lot of these compounds are very, very cheap, poor quality materials. They break down the paint. They attack the paint, basically break it down, they bleed colour out of it in certain circumstances, and you end up with quite a poor finish. So what's happened is my paint has gone from being beautiful to buff to being really sticky. It doesn't feel too bad. With the Xpert it's not so bad, but if you try to use a conventional compound or polish on this, it will be as sticky as buggery, and it's not very nice to buff at all. Now yes, it's got some defects in it, and the trim needs to be replaced in a few spots, but look, it's a 14-year-old car that was a daily driver from 2009 to 2010, and now it's back in here sitting around for me to tinker with. I've got some mechanical upgrades to do on it, but really for paint that it is and the age of it, I think I'm doing pretty well when you consider how much gloss and clarity this does have. So I'm pretty much limiting myself now to just using Xpert High Tech polish and the Xpert jeweling polish to bring this car up and bring the paint up, because if I go and use any polish, even Xpert Ultra, I'm risking going through the paint in certain spots. There's just areas that, besides the doors, which haven't really been hit much over the last 6 years, there's just areas that you just can't keep hitting. Now Ultra is a far better product. It's water based. The entire range is water based, even all the cleaners, the polishes, the whole deal, the sealants, the future coating that's coming out in maybe the next year or two. So they're all water based, which helps a lot, and they don't tear at the paint, which is really important. You don't want to polish or compound any product that's going to tear at the paint or tear into it and leave swell marks and horrible marring everywhere. This panel has just been freshly repainted about 4 months ago. It's not the best finish I've ever seen. It's quite nice. It's a bit peely, a little peely and bubbly in a few spots. I didn't do very good prep on it. The bars are a lot better, much nicer finish. They were using Spies Hecker paint on that. Replaced the badging. I've got a crack here on the body kit from where, I'm not sure where that's come from, but it's cracking just around here. If I just zoom in a bit. Oops. Just see that little crack in there. Right here. But look, for a car of its age, I think I'm doing alright. Now the inside is much better. Now this car I'll be doing quite a few demos with, using the stuff like the jeweling polish, the high tech, because I'll be able to polish this car for a long time with those two products, because I can do it with with a certain technique to allow it that you don't really remove any paint. You'd be lucky to remove 0.1 of a micron or half a micron. So you're not removing much. So the interior is in good nick, but like I said, I'll be doing some demonstrations on this in certain places. I've got to do this rear quarter again just lightly, but she's in pretty good shape overall, really, especially the interior. Pretty much like new in most areas, especially the back seat. The back seat hasn't been used much. Now the door skins are all good. So that's what I'll be doing some demos with. Demos on with the jewelling polish and the high tech polish. Other demos, videos I'll be doing on the MG, on some of these other MGs and some customer cars, some bumper bars up on trestles, and you know, so in other words, real world stuff. But yeah, I've got to get new wheels for the car too, because those are pretty gutter rashed. It's hard to see through this inside this car. It's hard to see the gutters sometimes, so you get a bit of scrapage going on, and especially since the wheel comes out quite a bit past the tyre, it's gets a bit banged up. But this is my pride and joy. It's not everybody's. Not everyone loves this model here in Australia, but I don't care. I think they're a beautiful car, great to drive, and just with a nice brake upgrade, this car will be absolutely sensational. So this is what I'll be demonstrating on, as well as many other cars here in the workshop. So that's it for me for this video, but stay tuned, there's a lot more coming here at Detailology 73 on YouTube.